This is a Simmons. I think it's a pretty good brand, made in America. It's about 5 feet long, and it's made to be dug into the ground 3 feet into the ground. So I wasn't real sure how deep my pipe was. I actually wanted this to be really low to the ground, maybe about maybe only 2 feet sticking out of the ground, but I think it's going to be sticking out of the ground a little bit more than that, but we'll see. So let's go ahead and get at it. So I already dug most of this up. I've just been out here a couple of days, just when it cools down, trying to get through this dirt because it's really hard. You can see the pipe right here is connected into the well, and then this is the line that runs to the house, and then this line is the electrical. So when they dig this well, they just dig all the way down. There's a pipe inside here. There's a pump down at the bottom. This electrical unit energizes the pump, which causes the water to come out through this section here. So the thought process is I'm gonna disconnect, take this fitting out. I'm gonna put a T right here. The hydrant's gonna come straight up off of this line, and then I'm gonna reuse this fitting to connect to the other side of that T. So I'm gonna have to cut some of this off, and I do want to get this bucket in here. I don't have enough room right now. So I'm gonna drop this bucket down in here. I'm gonna cut some holes in it, and I'm gonna fill the bucket with gravel. You don't have to use a bucket, but I think it's better because it keeps that gravel contained, and it also keeps the dirt out of it so it doesn't mix up, and I just think it's better. It looks neater. So I gotta start making room for the bucket. We'll go ahead and get started. Oh, all right. I think that's good enough. See, I got some space underneath, and I want to make sure I had space underneath so I can put some gravel at the bottom, because these faucets, whenever you turn them off, they drain the water that's in the neck so that it doesn't freeze, and this water tube is below the frost line. So that's how that all works. You want to make sure that it can drain really well, so it doesn't rust, doesn't corrode, doesn't freeze, and you don't want to dig this up and do it twice. So you got to make sure you get it done right the first time. All right, so it's time for a break. It's too damn hot out here. Okay, now we got to shut the water off. So let's go ahead and turn this on here. Make sure we got some water flowing through. It looked like it was really low, but I just couldn't see it. There it is. So our water is on. Let's go cut the power to the well pump, and this should die off.
Are you ready to eat?
Yeah. Our panel is in my son's room. We really don't like it. I don't know why they put it in here. I don't like it because that's a lot of voltage right here by his bed. So I'm thinking of something how to just make this safer. I mean, my son is pretty responsible. He would never get into all this stuff. I just don't like it. They're usually like in a closet or something, so this is just out in the open. But we'll figure it out. So right here, whatever company did this, this Performance Electric, they did a really good job. We've got two panels, a sub panel here, and the main panel, and they labeled everything really well. So you can see this they labeled everything really well. All right, so this well has 30 amps, two 30 amp breakers, or is this one 30 amp? I think these are together, so that makes it one 30 amp breaker because they are bind together. So we're gonna cut that off, and we're gonna go see if our water did in fact shut off. Let's go take a look. Cherry. And looks like it's still going. Give it a minute. It should die down here in just a second. You gotta let all that pressure die off. There it is. You can see it's dying now. All right, our well is dead. Our well's over there, so we should be good to go ahead and disconnect everything and start plumbing in the hydrant. Okay, now that the water is off, we should be able to take this line off, take that fitting off, and not lose a bunch of water here. All right, I got it. That was actually easier than I thought it was going to be. Less water than I thought I would get, but those threads are really long. But I got it. It came out pretty. Now the water's flowing pretty good, and that's just residual water left inside that pump, but not bad. I should be able to pull this out. It might be in there pretty good though. I am going to have to cut this back a little bit, but once we get everything in there, I can see how much I need to cut off. This pipe's not very forgiving though. It's pretty stiff pipe. All right, I'm gonna have to use two hands to try and pull that. So here's the fittings. I test fit these, make sure they fit. All right, we're good. I got lucky. I was kind of guessing on this size here. I think this is a 3/4 and a 5/8, but I was guessing on this one. So now we need to wrap everything in the tape. You always want to wrap in the opposite direction that this spins on, because as you tighten up, you want that tape to get tighter around it instead of looser. All right, I think the hard part's over. Got everything plumbed in. This tube is so stiff, I couldn't bend it enough to get it on this barb here. So it gets onto that barb. That barb actually comes down quite a bit, about a good another inch and a half past here. So I've got plenty of room to clamp this down. And then right off the top of this T is where the hydrant plumbs into. So I'm gonna get this all tightened up, and we'll get the hydrant on here. Then we'll be ready for some gravel. This is the drain plug. It's a little 1/8 inch nipple here, and it's just to let that drain. How this works is this fills up with water, and then whenever you shut it, this is still full with water, but then it has a little valve right here at the bottom, and when you shut that off, it opens that valve up and lets this whole neck drain out, so that this neck doesn't freeze. And that's the benefit of having these out in your yard. And they're extra powerful, they're extra cold. You get more pressure, water pressure. They're just stronger. You can water bigger parts of your yard. They're just all around better than just a faucet that's out of your house. To include that this completely drains out so that it doesn't freeze. Okay, got everything in. Everything's plumbed in. I'm going to go turn the well back on. See if this should run now. It's all plumbed in. It should have no problems. When I open this valve, I should get water out of this. I should have no leaking down there. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And if that's all good to go, stake it down, put the gravel in, bury it up, and we are done for the day. I'm gonna go get the power back on. Okay, here's the moment. Water's back on. My water faucets or my sprinklers up and going, so that's a good sign. Let's turn it on. Let's take a look and see if we got any leaks first. Looks pretty dry. I think we're good. You can see the wind is moving this thing, so you can see how much that shakes. Now there's no dirt in it, but you think about that at a very minute vibration over years, and it's not that hard to snap that stuff off, or have a pinhole leak and then it rusts out or whatever. All right, let's turn it on, see if she runs. I hear something. There it is. Nice and cold. Let me get me a drink. All right, let's check for leaks one more time, and then we're ready to stake it down. You can see how it's draining. That little nipple right there is draining it out. So it's doing its job. And we're gonna fill this up with gravel, so when that drains, it does have somewhere to go. It will actually drain to the bottom of this bucket. That's why I cut holes in the bottom of this bucket, so that this bucket can drain all the way to the bottom. But we're gonna fill this up with gravel. And when that water drains, it'll just drain to that gravel down to the dirt.